Namaste and welcome back to the episode of Meditative Nest. So, in the last podcast, I talked about the steps to meditate, and I said that I'm going to talk about sitting down later on and talk about different asanas and different ways to sit down. But what I want to touch up on in this particular episode is your practice. So, in the last episode, if you have not watched it, it is episode number 4 on Meditative Nest. You can reach me on YouTube, Meditative Nest. Um, so, watch that episode. If you have, then try doing some meditation. And what I talked about in that was to take a few deep breaths, get started, focus on the triangle under your nose, keep your focus on your breath. Try to see if you can feel without changing your breath or the rhythm of your breath. Just naturally observe how your body is breathing and see if you can feel your breath touching your upper lip area. If you have been able to achieve that, congratulations. And if you have not, then keep trying. It is going to happen at some point. It is not something that will never happen. I can guarantee you that. If you stick to it, if you just keep your focus on your breath, think about, actually, don't think, but just focus on your breath. Gently let it go, just feel the breath going in, feel the breath going out. Avoid any kind of counting, avoid any kind of commentary in your mind. Just focus on that breath coming in, going out, coming in, going out, right? And when you feel that your mind has wandered away, realize that it has wandered away, bring it back to that awareness. Do not react to the fact that your mind was distracted. It is okay. It is the nature of mind. The mind's job is to think, right? And it will always be. So we don't want to get upset with the mind, thinking that why is my mind getting upset, or why is my mind getting distracted, or feeling that why is it doing what it's not supposed to, because that is what the mind is supposed to do. But our job is to keep our awareness in our control. So your focus should be on your nose. If a thought is happening, it is perfectly fine. As long as the focus is there, you're good. Okay? So you're gonna keep practicing that. This kind of meditation is called Anapana meditation. This is basically you're taking your focus and putting it on the coming and going of your breath. Okay? Inhale, exhale, right? So just come and go and come and go and come and go, and Anapana, Anajana, right? So Anapana meditation. Now this is something that you would learn anywhere. If you go for any kind of advanced meditation, they would probably start you at when they talk about meditation, they would start you at a point where you need to focus on your breath. And that is one of the principles and the basic things that I wanted to explain step by step what you need to do, right? Now, once you are able to sit down and meditate for a few minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, one time in a day, two times in a day, 10 times in a day, whatever your frequency is, you need to stay at it till you start feeling those sensations. And once you start feeling those sensations, there are processes that you need to follow. There is a direction that you need to go. The journey has just begun for you. The moment you start feeling these sensations, that means that your awareness is sharp. Now, with that kind of sharp, let me explain that also. So, what I mean by sharp is that you're very sensitive to very, very subtle sensations on your body, right? If you can feel your breath touching your upper lip, which you have not felt till now, unless you take a forceful breath or try to breathe on purpose to do that, that means that you're sensitive, extremely sensitive to any subtle sensations. This is the time when your body will express itself by showing you all the sensations that are happening in different part of the body. That process is called body scan, and this is something that Vipassana meditation teaches you. I do not want to teach you that. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to give you any information, because I am not the right person to do that. I am not a guru who can tell you what you should do now. I taught you Anapana meditation, talked about the very basics of how to get started, because I want to help you experience the very first steps of meditation. After you learn how to meditate, and if you want to take it to the further levels, then you can follow one of these different techniques, and it is very open. I will talk about every technique in detail, tell you a little bit about what the technique is, how does it work, what type of time commitment are you expected to uh, how much time are you expected to use for doing this, and you can make a decision after that. And not only don't make a decision just listening to me, listen to me, make notes of what all types of meditations I'm going to talk about, google them, research them, find out about them. But I will try my best to guide you by telling you what the name of that meditation is, what the technique is, and where to go. Because some of these places I already know who offers those kind of services. Like Vipassana meditation is something you can go and look for a center near you on a website called dhamma.org. That is dhamma.org. And you will be able to go and not only find information about Vipassana, but look for a center near you. You can go and enroll yourself. Usually in Vipassana meditation, they require you to go and do a 10-day course, which means you need to check in for 10 days. It's a free course. You don't have to pay a single dime from your pocket. You can just go and enroll yourself and uh, spend those 10 days. After 10 days, if you feel uh, that it has benefited you, you can make a donation. But they won't even take a donation from you if you have not completed the 10 days. Because that means you were not ready for it, you reached at a point where it was not for you. So they don't charge you anything. But they provide you with accommodation, they provide you with food, they provide you with anything else that you might need over there. For example, medicine or something if you get sick or something happens. And all this knowledge is given to you for free. So you can go and look over there if you are interested in doing that. But what I want to share in this episode and the following episodes are certain things that you might experience and some warnings, because it is very important to understand the dangers of any activity that you're doing, right? So, in meditation, obviously, if you sit down and meditate, there's no danger because you're not trying to do anything extreme. You're not trying to hold your breath for too long. You're not trying to expose yourself to elements that can hurt you. Nothing. You're just sitting down, closing your eyes, and breathing, right? If you are on medications, nobody's telling you to stop your medicines. If you are on a certain diet, nobody's going to tell you to change that. So, there is no danger of that kind. But when I talk about danger, that basically means that if you're spending time on meditation, like right now, so you tried meditation, you sat down, you closed your eyes, took your focus on your breath, and it was working fine. And then a thought appeared, and then your mind followed the thought. You left the focus, and later on, when you realized that you've lost your focus, you came back and you started doing it again. The danger is if you sat down and you started focusing on your breath and your mind wandered off, you feel that you are in deeper meditation now because your mind is telling you something. Your mind is trying to show you, let's say, an image that makes you feel like, oh, I'm getting some gyan, I'm getting some wisdom, I'm getting some insights, right? The universe is talking to me, and it shows you a picture like you're floating in the air or something is happening, and you start believing it. That is a danger because what is happening is you're not meditating anymore. You're just hallucinating. You're thinking about your imagination. You're imagining something. So that is a danger because your mind tricked you and distracted you from the path that you were on. You were focusing on your breath, and the mind took you somewhere else. That's a danger. The biggest danger in meditation always is that your mind tries to tell you that you have achieved something which you actually have not. So you have to keep your guards up at all times. If you feel something magical happen to you, you have to tell yourself that that is probably not true. That is probably your mind trying to trick you, right? So knowing the next step of meditation is always very important. This way you can know whether you are there or not. And normally gurus do not want to tell you what the next step is, because if you know what the next step is, you sometimes start imagining that you're already there, right? Like in meditation, when people say you sit down, close your eyes, and you make your mind blank, right? Then you get a visual of a light or you get a visual of something, and you start imagining it. You start imagining a flame between your third eye, on your third eye chakra, between your eyebrows, and you start feeling like, oh, something is happening, magical is happening. So, reality check is very important. You want to be grounded, you want to not fall for that kind of information, you don't want to fall in that trap. So that is one of the dangers that you would experience. So the moment you feel that you're experiencing something that is very magical or something, let go of that and say, okay, that's fine. But I want to focus on my breath. Bring it back. Be on that breath. Start focusing on the breath again. Mind will again wander and something might happen. Let it happen. Come back and start focusing on the breath. So just try to be on that breath for as long as you want. In Vipassana meditation, you do Anapana meditation for 3 days. You meditate anywhere between 10 to 14 hours a day. And all you do is keep your focus on this triangle. That's all you do, right? So you're sitting for 1.5 hour sessions, you're just sitting down and meditating, and all you're doing is keeping your focus over here. Let's say you start feeling those sensations in the first 1 or 2 minutes. So you're in that zone, you are feeling that sensation, your focus is in your control, but you have to sit for an hour. It becomes boring. You start feeling that, oh, it's so boring to do that, and difficult to achieve because now what do I do? It's happening already. What is the next step? I want to go somewhere. So they calm you down. They were like, all right, just focus on this right now. So many times your mind is going to wander. You bring it back, it's going to wander. You bring it back, goes, comes. It's okay. Make it a habit of sitting down, meditating. Just do that whole exercise. Keep your focus. See how long can you sit without twitching a muscle. So you sit down in any position. You're sitting down, cross-legged. Now when you started, your body was very comfortable. You don't feel any discomfort at all. But a few minutes later, into this session, you would start feeling your legs are becoming tired. You might even experience some pain on your knees, or you might feel pain in your back. You need a little bit of position change. You want to just like spread your legs a little bit and relax or something. So try not to do that. See how long can you sit, because now this is when sitting becomes more important. So you need to learn, first of all, that your body is telling you to switch, because your body is not used to sitting for a longer period of time, right? You have not disciplined your body to be in a static position for a long time. So your body is going to react to that. But the way to handle that is by not reacting and not listening, not giving in, not allowing the body to change. Even if it's hurting a little bit, if it's bearable for you, just keep sitting and say, okay, I'm going to just observe and see how much it is. So this is actually a good sign. If you reach that point where you're meditating and your body is like asking for a position change or a little bit of discount, like, let me just open my one leg a little bit, it's hurting, or let me change my position, let me move a little bit because my butt is hurting or my back is hurting, all those kind of things. That means that you are meditating long enough and your body is coming in your way now. It is stopping you because the body is not ready. And that is a great place to be, because that means that mentally you have understood what meditation is and you have the capability to sit for longer period of time. Now we need to work on the body, and we need to be able to sit in a certain way so you can sit for a long period of time. And this is exactly the stage that I felt was a great starting point for Vipassana meditation, because if you want to go for Vipassana meditation, right, you need to sit for 10 to 14 hours a day. So first of all, you need to know which is a comfortable position for me, because they offer you anything. They can offer you a chair if you want to sit on a chair. They'll give you pillows, they'll give you cushions, they'll give you bench if you want to sit on a bench. If you want to kneel down, they have benches for that, in which you can sit down on your knees, put that bench on top of your ankles, and then you can rest your butt on top of that bench and sit like that. So there are multiple ways and there are multiple techniques. You need to find out which one is the most comfortable for you. So this is where we talk about sitting. And again, so pain management, and when your body is hurting, it is okay to little bit, like, to not immediately give in. So if your knees start hurting a little bit, let's say, and if you don't have any medical problem, of course, right? If there is, then I'm not suggesting that you force yourself in any way. There's no, in yoga and in meditation, you do not force yourself for anything. Okay, the goal is to just do whatever is in the comfort zone of the body and comfort zone of your mind. So we don't want to force anything, but you want to find that spot. Like, okay, if I sit down cross-legged, I can sit for 5 minutes without having any problem. But 6 minutes, I have my knee pain starts, and I can hold my pain. I can still hold that position despite the pain for 8 minutes, and after that it becomes unbearable, right? Let's say. So what have you done? You, from 5 to 6 minutes range, you extended it to another 2 minutes when it became unbearable for you. Next time you will realize when you sit down to meditate, after 8 minutes or so, the pain will start coming back. It won't start at 6 minutes again. So you sit again for as long as you can. When you get up, that much time will get extended to your sitting position, and it keeps getting more and more and more and more. Right. So that is one kind of journey which you would need to prepare your body to sit down. Sit as much as you want. Sometimes I remember that when I was trying to learn how to meditate, I used to have a problem staying in the cross-legged position for a long time. So what I did was I started working uh, on the chair that I used to. I switched my chair actually, used a different chair, and I could sit cross-legged on that to work. So I started sitting cross-legged and do my work 9 to 5. So sometimes I would stretch my legs and change positions, but normally whenever I get a chance, I would sit back again and cross my legs. And I felt that it helped me when I was meditating now because I got used to sitting for longer. So you can incorporate your sitting posture once you find out which is a comfortable position for you to sit and meditate. You incorporate that position into your day-to-day life. If you're sitting at home watching TV, try sitting in that position and watch TV. Right? It will again hurt and you will again feel like you need to change a position or something. Wait for as long as you can. If you can't, then change it. At least your body is doing some training work while you're not meditating. It should not be that only when you sit down to meditate, that is the time that you have to train your body, because you're already working on your mind, right? There's a lot of processes going on when you're meditating. So keep that in mind. Try to incorporate that position, try to incorporate that sitting position everywhere. And to be honest with you, now I feel more confident sitting in the cross leg position and more comfortable than ever. Whenever I go to somebody's house, also now it has become another problem because I go to people's house and I ask them, can I please sit down on the couch with my legs crossed? Or if I have some pillow or something on the floor, I would ask them, can I sit down on the floor if you don't mind? Because I really want to sit down, right? And most of my friends know, they allow me to do it. So it's become a natural habit. I just go to their house, open my shoes, go and sit down on the couch, cross my legs, and just sit like that and talk to them and enjoy. Because when I want to meditate, I don't want this to be something that prevents me from sitting and meditating for a long time. So focus on your meditation as much as you can while you're sitting down. Dedicated time. Find that position which is more comfortable for you. Try different positions if you want to. It's okay. Try sitting on your knees and see if that helps you. Try sitting on a yoga mat and see if that helps you. Try sitting on a cushion. Try folding a blanket or a towel multiple times and sit on that and see if that helps you. So find that. But focus on the breath. Keep that focus on the breath. See, as long as you can keep it. You're not counting, but you know the time, right? Your body is calculating the time for you. If you sit down for 5 minutes and you look at the time after you get up, like, hey, I started at 7:20 and now it's 7:25. I sat down for 5 minutes. Next time, if you don't even have your watch with you, when you sit down and start meditating, you get up, you will know that it was like 5 minutes because your body knows how it feels after 5 minutes. So it tells you that 5 minutes have passed, right? When you are meditating for a longer period of time, obviously it's opposite, because let's say you set a target for yourself that I'm going to meditate for 30 minutes. So you sit down for 30 minutes, and when you feel that you're almost done, that is actually only 15 minutes into it. You still have half the way left, right? So that is also something to something to be aware of, because your body, your mind would trick you like that also and tell you it's almost over, but you're not even halfway there. So, but it's not a big danger. It's a very innocent mistake that mind does, because the mind really wants to get done with it, right? It's so much effort and so much hard work for it. So it's normal and natural, but otherwise your body knows. So you don't have to keep track of time, of how long did I meditate for. It's okay to know in the beginning couple of times to just see how is it working, but keep it going, keep the ball rolling. Think about how you feel. Keep your focus on your breath. Get used to that fact that your mind is going to get distracted. It comes back, right? Get to a point where it stops getting distracted, and stays for longer period of time, right? Keep increasing that. Don't think about what is the next step, what do I need to do now, because give yourself some time. Don't try to rush. Don't let your mind try to be so this thing that I need to go and find out what is going on. I need to go and check what is going on. I want to know what is next. What is next? I'm wasting time. I'm losing a race. There is no race. You're just meditating, and whatever you're doing right now with Anapana meditation also is good enough. If you don't do anything else after this, you're not in a bad space. You're meditating. You're going to get all the benefits of meditation over here. In the next episode, I want to talk about some of the benefits of meditation that you might come across, because I agree that there are some dangers to meditation because your mind can trick you that, oh, you've achieved some weird, great stage of meditation and you've become a great meditator and all, but you have to keep a reality check on that. But at the same time, there are benefits of meditation that are going to come to your life, and I don't want you to disqualify them just because you think it is mind tricking you. So, in the next episode, I'll talk more about that. For now, please keep practicing and focus and find your position that suits you the most. And in the next following couple of episodes, I will start talking about asanas. But if you want to learn about it yourself, I would suggest three asanas are really good for meditation. One of them is Siddhasana, Sidhasana, Siddhasana. Then there is a full lotus and there is a half lotus. So you can look at all three of them and see if you can naturally sit in one of these and start. But in the following few episodes, I will talk more about it and probably even request somebody who knows yoga to come and join me and help me explain that to you, because I myself am not a yogi. I cannot do yoga to that extent, right? And I don't want to set a bad example by showing you how I sit. I will show you how I sit, but I'm also working on my body, so I would expect somebody professionally to come and help and give that information so that you can benefit from it directly. So for now, namaste. Thank you so much, and I hope to bring some new stuff to you soon. Namaste.